everyone, welcome back to Harry's Angel. My name is Emily, and on this channel I post all things Harry Styles and One Direction. Today I will be giving you my Don't Worry Darling review with spoilers. I am going into every detail in this video. I will spoil this entire movie for you. So this movie is honestly for people who have This review is honestly for people who have seen the movie and just want to hear other people's opinions, have a conversation. I did film a video just like this one, but I tried to keep it relatively spoiler-free. I will be kind of turned this way and looking down because I have my notes here. I thought someone was trying to get in my room, but they're not. And I am filming this one directly after I film my other one, so I'm in my exact same outfit. Not sorry. Bulk filming is the way to go. If you don't do it, you got to. Okay, anyways, so without further ado, let's get in. So, like the other one, I will explain the plot, talk about some reviews that it has gotten. I'm not going to share specific reviews from critics or audiences like on a few review platforms. I will be sharing my review of the movie and if I recommend the film. So starting with the plot, it is set in Victory, which is based on the perfect 1950s Palm Spring utopian. The main characters are Jack and Alice, played by Harry Styles and Florence Pugh. We are viewing their perfect life, basically. It's mostly from Alice's point of view, but it's kind of from both of their points of views. Jack goes to work daily, like all the other men in Victory, while Alice stays home and cleans and cooks. The women will also leave and go to ballet, or they'll go shopping. The women do not drive, so there is a trolley that goes around, picks them up, brings them home, sort of a thing. Alice begins to notice imperfections within her world when her friend Margaret begins to question the world after she goes out to headquarters where they're not supposed to go. She goes out there with her son. They caught her, and they never really talk about what happened to her son, but basically she came back without him. In the movie, they state that Margaret claims that they took him. Which everyone's kind of like, we don't know what you're talking about, sis, but it's basically what is said. Margaret speaks out, is seen as crazy, has suicide attempt. Margaret has these ongoing episodes after she goes to headquarters, like I mentioned, which is forbidden. So after this happens, not only is everybody seeing her as crazy, but because she did something that's forbidden, nobody really wants to associate with her anymore either, which, you know, if people are kind of having, how do I want to word this? If people are not doing well mentally, abandoning them really doesn't help. So, you know, it wasn't all that great for Margaret. Alice learns she's living in a simulation. The men leave the simulation daily to go to real jobs which pay for them to stay in Victory. Alice is mad at Jack for taking her independent life away because she was truly happy. Jack just didn't think so. So Jack thought he was doing a good thing, but he was not, in Alice's eyes. The movie ends with Alice regaining that freedom. So that's what I'm going to say about that. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I did go in a little bit more in depth than I did in my previous video. So now if we talk about ratings, as of October 9th, around 3:30 p.m., the movie had a 38% on the tomato meter and a 75% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. It had a 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb, a 48 media score, and a 4.1 user score on Metacritic, and a 3 stars on Google. So you can definitely see that audiences enjoyed the movie a lot more than critics, but I feel like that's pretty much everything. Because critics are looking at it from a critical standpoint, and audience are just looking at it, was it entertaining, did they enjoy it? I didn't talk about this in my other video, but I'll talk about it here. If I'm looking at it from a more critical standpoint rather than did I enjoy the movie, was it entertaining, I will say set design was amazing. Cinematography, amazing. I think the casting was splendid. I think it was just when you go into things like the script and the movie writing where it was a bit questionable, just because there are quite a few plot holes, and it's a confusing movie, and a lot of things just don't end up making sense. Like, I've seen it twice now, because the first time, it's really amazing, but after you leave and you're processing what you just saw, you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. What happened here? Like, it starts to, you get confused. So, I will say, seeing it a second time helps because you know what to look for to make it clearer to yourself, but there are a lot of plot holes. So, my overall review, I think it was a great movie. I'd watch it over and over again. It is a bit confusing. There are plot holes, but actors on set make it better. It is a movie you need to watch multiple times to fully understand. When this movie is out at theaters and is on some sort of a streaming platform, I will watch it once a week. I do not care if I need to pay $10 to watch it once a week. I love that movie. I will watch it multiple times a week. I will buy it on DVD. I don't even really have a DVD player that works properly. I will buy it on DVD. Anyways, when I talk about plot holes, because I am spoiling the entire thing, plot holes. A few things are brought up, and you think that, and I can think of two off the top of my head, and you think they're gonna go somewhere with it because they kind of just like come out of nowhere, and they're like, "Oh my god, you literally just said that to me right now," but then they don't go anywhere with it. One of the scenes is Alice is taking a bath. Jack comes in, and they're going to some party that Frank invited them to. Frank being like the head person of Victory. I forget what his like role is, but he's like in charge of Victory. It's like his program. So him and his wife are having this thing, and Jack's gonna go. He doesn't know it yet, but he's gonna get a promotion and whatever, and it's gonna be a whole thing. But basically, they're going to that. They're getting ready, and he comes in, and he's like, "You're still in the bath, like, what?" I'm like, "Come on, we're gonna be late. I got this pretty dress for you at the mall, all of this stuff. I really want you to wear it." He sits down, because, you know, like, how older bathrooms are, where you have this ugly green tub, and then it kind of has, like, a tile ledge around it. So he sits down on there, and he's talking to her, and then he starts talking, "You know, I love you so much." I don't know if he said this, but he's like, "I can't get enough of you," like, and they were pretty much adamant, like, they weren't really interested in children, but all of a sudden he's like, "I want more of you, I want to have babies, because, I want more little yous," or something like that. She's like, "Says what?" She's like, "What? What did you just say to me?" Like, it came out of literally nowhere. Like, nobody saw that coming. Like, what? But after that, it is literally never talked about again. They never have a conversation about it again. Like, it was totally unnecessary. It was to buy, like, 5 minutes that they didn't need to buy because it's a 2-hour movie. So, another one is the dinner scene, which you can go and watch on the Warner Bros. YouTube channel. I don't know if it's the full cut, but it's a good portion of it. You can also, I think it's on that same channel, or I don't know if you just YouTube it. Olivia Wilde kind of explained it. She talked a little bit about the set, the cinematography. She went more in depth beyond what you would see at an entertainment standpoint, basically. And in that, Chris Pine's character Frank brings up something about being in his bedroom.
You trusted us in your home, just like I trusted you in my bedroom.
With her. Now, one of these scenes occurs at Frank's house between Alice and Jack, and Frank walks in the room and kind of watches them for a few minutes. Jack doesn't notice, but Alice does. I don't know if that's what he was talking about, or if he was talking about them, hooking up or whatever, and he was just trying to stir the pot. I'm not really sure, because in this dinner scene, it's revealed that Alice went out to headquarters, because she claims, and we see that she saw a plane crash, and she wanted to go make sure everybody was okay, but she ended up discovering headquarters. So he's trying to play with her, like, he's messing with her, because she's really the first person who can test him. Like, Margaret went out and saw all this stuff, but then just got deemed crazy. But Florence's character, Alice, is really testing him in what victory's all about, which no one's done before. So, pretty much, that is brought up, and Jack gives her a look like, what the actual frittata did he just say? And you would think that they would talk about it, and they never did. Like, again, just to buy a few minutes that you really didn't need to buy. So, sorry, that was scatterbrained. But yeah, so if we go into the acting is overall very well. Florence carries the film a little bit, but it seems that is intentional, because the movie is pretty much from her character's point of view. So a lot of people are talking about how it seems like Harry Styles sucks and Florence Pugh is just better than everybody else. I didn't see it that way. I do think that her character carries the whole entire film, but it's because her character is always in every scene. The movie is pretty much about her life in victory, so I don't think that she's carrying everybody else. I just think that the movie's essentially about Alice. If you want to talk about Harry's acting, because that's pretty much the topic of conversation, I don't think it's all that bad. I think that if you break down the scenes, just in regular scenes, I think he's fine. There is a certain part where he's trying to cook dinner for Alice after she goes out to headquarters. Like, the whole rest of the day is messed up for her, which you'll see it in the film. But he starts trying to mash potatoes, raw potatoes, with a Scotch bottle, and all I could think to myself is, he really needs to call Louis up in this moment.
Chicken stuffed with mozzarella, wrapped in Parma ham, with some mashed potato. Chicken.
Anyways, so if you want to talk his emotion in scenes, pretty much, everything's believable. Everybody found their pleasing, if you will. I wrote down Harry's acting isn't all that bad. He'll definitely be better in every new movie he does. He just needs to gain the same experience as his co-stars. If we go into sex scenes, the sex scenes weren't that much. There were only 2 that I remember. Nothing is shown, and you can sit through them comfortably. I mean, it was less than I expected. That's what I'll say to that. It's not all that interesting. They're just there. I'm going to talk about feminism, and I'm going to talk about this because I feel like it's become a topic of conversation within reviews and people talking about it in the industry. I wouldn't call this a feminist film. You can definitely see toxic masculinity and minor female oppression. This is my opinion. I'm not trying to get political or whatever. It isn't the main point of the movie or something focused on until pretty much the very end. The ending really sends the message that women are powerful and have power and can be more powerful than men, in my opinion. This is going to be mad spoilers, but towards the end, Jack is apologizing to Alice for completely ruining her life, and I don't know how this fits into the movie. Like, I still can't figure it out. He begins to suffocate her. Like, she can't breathe. He is squeezing her at the waist so tight. Like, so she takes a glass and smashes him in the head, kills him. What the duck? And then a whole wild goose chase starts with that. But then all of a sudden, Gemma Chan's character, I can't remember her name, is in the room with Frank. Frank's on the phone. They start to talk. She just stabs him. Twists the knife. I'm like, at that moment in time, everybody in the theater gasped. It was uncontrolled. I mean, I just went, like, you didn't even see anything yet. It was just a noise, and everybody gasped. That was iconic. That was female empowerment at its finest. However, there's only moments where it's real, true feminism. I would just say toxic masculinity is shown. I do see the toxic masculinity. That's what I will say about that. Going into my favorite part, the entire ending from when smashed glass to the closing of the movie is so iconic to me. I will say the first time I watched it, the closing of the film, you know how at the end of a film there's like a colored screen and it has the name of the film? That happened. It was flashing to her alone. And then the movie ends. It makes more sense the second time. I'll say that. If you guys talk in the comments at me on Twitter or tweet me on Twitter, I don't know how Twitter works. I just got Twitter. And I'm really enjoying it. If you guys talk to me on there, we can talk more about it. And now, do I recommend? I recommend this movie. It's mind-bending and a good time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I've seen it multiple times and will watch it again. Like I've said, when it's out on streaming platforms, we'll be watching once a week. I don't care what I have to pay for it. And that is just how I feel about that. Alright. So that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want to leave your own opinions, start conversations, you can do so in the comments or over on Twitter. Tag me in your tweets. It is at #1, all lowercase, all one word, no special characters, Harry's Angel. The handle is in the description box below. You can also just click a link right to my Twitter page in the channel banner or in the channel about section. Subscribe if you enjoy Harry Styles content and One Direction content, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye!